folks, to another episode of That's Anita Live, the talk show dedicated to providing emotional healing to help you create a happier life. It's a known fact that the way we look affects the way we feel, and hair is the hot trend right now. Hair pieces, clip-ins, glue-ins, lace fronts, it's all Greek to me. I don't understand any of it. But in studio, I have an expert in wig products. Laura Waits is the owner of Wear Hair For You. Seeing a need for high-quality wig products, Laura started her company in 2001. She specializes in medical hair loss, and over 90% of her clients are cancer patients. Welcome the certified wigologist to the show. How you doing, Laura?
Fine, thanks for having me, Anita. And I like that wigologist name. Normally, I just call myself a consultant. A consultant. Yeah, these are really interesting products, and I've been doing this now going on 18 years. I like the difference that the products make in people's lives.
How did you get started in the whole wig process? How did that interest peak for you?
I tell a lot of my clients when they ask me that, when I was 15 years of age, in my life, my young life, I suffered from eczema, dermatitis, eczema. Okay. And normally for children, when they contract eczema, it's usually in the folds of their arms, back of the legs, and back of the neck. Yeah. And I was having a flare-up when I was 15 in the back of my neck, and it just moved from my neck over into my hair, and basically took my hair out. So my mother took me downtown to the wig store, and you can't make this up. The name of the wig store was called the Wigwam. So I went to the Wigwam to get my first hair wig, and it was something that I just dealt with, just like anybody else that has an affliction. It's just like, I was young and I just adapted to it. Eventually, my hair did grow back. But for a while, it's what I had to do. So later on in life, I remembered my experience with my hair coming out with wigs. I had a job where I traveled a lot, and I just started getting back into wigs. And I would fly to different places and look for really good quality wigs because I did not like wiggy looking wigs. I just didn't like them. You could just see them coming, and you just look at it, and you just go, "Oh my God!"
Yeah. They kind of look like a helmet sitting on somebody's head. They did.
I tell people they used to be hair hats. I mean, if you look at old footage from back in the day when you had female singers or whatever, they had that beehive, and you could just imagine what was underneath this thick skull cap of weaving, and then the hairs on top. But no, I take pride in the product that I currently sell to my clients, where they're very technology advanced. I look for that. There's a lot of people that can't do that, so I'm really picky about what I let into the shop, into the salon. And as a matter of fact, I'd like your viewers to know that I am wearing one of my wigs that I have in my shop, and it just amazes me when people come to see me. I tell them that I'm wearing a wig so that they'll feel comfortable. Instead of seeing this woman with this different looking great hair, I wear different wigs, and I'm like, no, this is a wig. So I like that, and they're thinking, oh my God, that's a wig, and I'm like, yeah, it sure is. And they say, wow.
Once you got started in wigs, right? How did you get connected to the client of cancer patient?
Well, I remember in 2003, I approached Life with Cancer. I just were seeing women that I just knew had wigs on, and they were going through that transition of treatment. And I'm thinking, these women have got to know there's a better product out there. They have to know that they don't have to look like they're wearing wigs or skull caps or something, because it's amazing that I do have some women that come through with apprehension, going, I know it's going to look like a wig, it's going to be hot, it's going to be this, and I'm like, no, it is not.
Really? They're not hot?
Oh, no, they're not.
Okay.
A lot of them, if you hold them up to the light, the ones that I have, you can see through them. They've been constructed very, very well. And so I went to Life with Cancer with this, so I ended up teaching for them at a class called All About Wigs. And I ended up teaching for about 8 years. there, which I really love because I was there to tell women and basically hold their hand. If you were to go to a wig store, these are the things that you should expect. These are the things that they should do for you. These are the questions that you should ask. And then, you know, after that, I ended up opening up my own store, and that was after I had the 2-year contract with the Nova Fairfax Hospital as well. So I was on site at a Nova Fairfax Hospital in Virginia Hospital Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, teaching about wigs, and just, you know, especially with Nova Fairfax being on site, they used to have, they don't have it any longer, but they used to have a cancer comfort shop where I would be and keep my wigs, and it was really funny because they would only let me have 7 wigs in there for 2 years. And I had to work off of the 7 wigs and a catalog for 2 years. I did not have one return. So it actually trained me to be better.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was a need that was there, and because I'm so familiar all these years and years and years with the product, I just wanted to bring people something that they could feel like themselves and feel very natural in. And I understand the whole hair loss, you know, feeling that it's going to happen.
Because you've had it firsthand.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So what is, I say, one thing that you would tell somebody if they go to look for a wig, look for what?
I would say the naturalness of it. Does it have, like, you know, multi-directional parting when you part the wig? Can you wear it like in a very flexible way? Quality of the hair should not be like doll hair. It should be, you know, a higher quality. I mean, it's worth the investment, especially if you're going to wear it for a long period of time. So I would just suggest that, you know, look for quality. Look for things like invisible hairlines, which is what I'm wearing right now. Look for...
So right now, with the wig that you have on, your hairline is any of that I can see your hair?
Not through here, no. It's not my hair. It's the wig.
Because I'm looking at your hairline, and it looks very natural that it is coming out of your scalp.
Exactly. That's what I tell people.
Right?
The kind of wigs. Yeah, this is the kind of wigs that I have. They look like they're growing from your scalp. So when I see people, I want to say, you know, there's a better way. You know, you can actually wear something that looks like it's growing out of your scalp.
What's the biggest transformation that you've seen in some of your clients?
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. I mean, I have to tell you, sometimes I'm even blown away by and I'm the wig lady, and I'm thinking, oh my God, these wigs have a tendency to make people look a lot younger. I'm just starting to see in the past year or two people that are losing their hair just from stress, just from everyday stress of life. Hormones, medicines, stress. I mean, there's a lot of alopecia people. They have an autoimmune deficiency, and for some reason, their hair follicles stop producing hair. And just a few weeks ago, I had a 14-year-old young child come in with that affliction. And she reminded me a lot of myself at that time going through that. She just had a stiff upper lip, and she was just ready to go through it until hopefully her hair would grow back again. But that is extremely prevalent. I'm seeing now, besides dealing with 90% of having cancer patients come through, I am just dealing with a lot of medical hair loss, even men. I do hair wigs for men.
Really?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yes, I do.
So it's not the toupee?
No, there's actual, like this, looks like it's growing from your scalp.
You know what I'm thinking
we've
about,
all seen
right?
a bad rug situation up there. It's not pretty. On a man either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, actually, yes, there are men, especially, you know, some men that have brain cancer or something like that. I had a professor from a local university here come, and he had brain cancer.
The thing that I find interesting, though, is they're under one roof, because never are hair products for men and women under the same roof.
Oh, it is here.
You know, like the barbershop and the hair salon have been separate for years.
True.
You have, is it called a toupee?
No, no. I call it a unit, a topper unit.
Okay.
So it's a unit piece. And a lot of men that come in, they're pretty well experienced. They know what they want. Some of these men come from a place where it's very expensive to upkeep, and they just want to kind of move away from that and move to something a little bit more simple. So this is human hair that is on like a very thin, like a polyurethane material.
Okay.
So it could be very scalp-like, and it's all done by hand. It's really amazing. And yeah, they make men's hair wigs like that too. It's an amazing product. Even, I'm telling you, even I'm the one that's doing it, I'm thinking, oh my God, this looks really good. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
And 18 years later, you're still as passionate about it as you were when you first got started.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because it really makes a difference in people's lives. Like, what a job to have when you can make a difference in someone's life. I mean, truly a difference. And they hug you when they leave, and you hug them, and you're like, okay, thank you, good luck, and I'm glad you're happy. But that's the best part, when they're happy.
No limitations, no color limitation, no size limitation. You can fit any head with any color.
True, yes, but on occasion, it's very, very rare. I may have to go in and alter the cap if someone has a exceptionally large or exceptionally small head. Then I may have to go in and do a little bit of tweaking, if you will. But for the most part, most people come in and they're able to fit what I have to offer.
Okay. Maybe we'll get Laura to actually show us, how do you prepare the hair that you have, if you have hair on your head, before you actually put a wig on? Maybe we can get her to do that. Right now, we're going to take a break. And we're back with Laura, and we actually have a question in the audience. And we're going to ask Miss Shalita the question that you had for Laura, because she's not mic'd, so I'll repeat it. The question that she had for her is, how does she fit with different ethnicities, whether it's color or size or, right? Yeah.
This product is for everyone. I love that because it's just for everyone. There's no, this is for you, this is for you, this is for you. It's for everyone. So.
She has a very diverse range of hair that would match yours, would match mine, would match everyone's in this room. So, I mean, she really does have a good fit for anyone who walks through,
feel like, yeah.
And that's synthetic. It's heat resistance, and you could actually apply heat to it, and it's synthetic, yes.
Like you could put hot rollers?
Yes, ma'am, yes, yep, you sure can.
Now, let me introduce the guest that we have with us, Miss Michelle, whom is a client of Laura.
I am.
And you became a client of Laura's how?
Well, I actually found Laura through the beauty of the internet, but the day I met Laura was a rough day for me, and she really just brought me into her shop. She sat down with my husband and I, heard our story, got to know us, got to know why we were there, and just really, I consider her a friend at this point. I am a client, but she really has become a friend because she really, I felt like, held my hand on an emotional way through the wig process, because I met her at a very vulnerable point in my life. I had just been diagnosed with cancer, and I didn't know anything about wigs. And she told me everything I needed to know about wigs, but she made it fun, and she made me comfortable, and she made me feel most like myself.
What are some of the things that she told you while you were going through that process?
Well, while we were sitting in her studio, she just educated me about what wigs were, what they were and what they weren't.
Okay.
And she kind of alleviated any anxieties I had about coming out looking really strange. We talked about bad wigs, and I didn't want a wigwam on my head. I wanted to come out looking beautiful and feeling beautiful, and that's what Laura did for me. She made me feel beautiful at a time when it was hard to. It was hard to kind of look in the mirror and even recognize myself and say, yep, that looks like my hair, and she found that.
Did you have to go through a different different sets of, like, how many different wigs did you try on before you got to one in the mirror you said, that's it?
Well, we tried what, a few? You put a few on. I mean, I went in when I was still having my hair. I was in the process of my first chemo treatment when I met her, and so my hair was falling out. And I will say this, she knew how to handle my hair because she knew how to handle someone's hair when they're going through chemo, and it's very fragile and the skin's very sensitive. And so she put the what's that word?
The cap?
The cap. So she put the cap on, chemo brain. So she put the cap on my head, on my actual hair, and then she just put on a few different pieces. And we were testing out different lengths and different colors, and we were having fun with it. You know, it was fun, and she made it easy. And I thought the process was going to be really daunting and kind of scary, and it was no longer scary.
Wow. Now, did you see yourself change right there in her studio while you were trying on the wig?
I would say the transformation between the moment I walked into your studio to when I left, I mean, I smiled brighter. You even said, you're like, oh, I can see the difference in you. Because she gave me a sense of hope and relief that I wasn't going to have to go through my whole cancer treatment with people like looking at me and being like, oh, like, she clearly has cancer. You know, I wanted to go through my life as normal as possible. I wanted to be able to go into a restaurant. I wanted to be able to run an errand and just have people address me like anybody else. And that's what she gave me.
And I have to admit that when her wig came in, and I'm fortunate to be in a location where there's a hair salon in the same building. You just kind of walk through a room, and there's a woman there that does a lot of my human hair wigs. And when Michelle came back, I was like, oh my God, that looks so good. I mean, it looks so natural. It was like, I mean, again, even me, I have to admit, I'm like sometimes surprised by the work or by the wig itself, going, that looks so good, so natural.
So walk me through the process. Say I just walked into your shop. What happens next?
I just pretty much ask you a lot of questions, like, you know, what you want, where you want to go with this. I have about 100 wigs in my salon, so I usually have an eye for, you know, maybe something that you would be interested in. You know, it just all depends. It just happens to come together when you come in.
But okay, I walk into the shop and I tell you I am losing my hair through the process of, let's say, alopecia, and I don't know where to go with wigs. Is the first thing that you ask me for what color hair I like, or is the first thing you ask me what length that I like, or?
Well, a lot of times you'll supply that information to me. When I'm sitting there, I'm pretty much asking you. It's really informal, and it's just something that I just
you
ask.
Naturally do.
Yeah, you just end up talking, and then I get that image in my head, and then I move you to the room where all the magic happens in the chair. And then we start trying on different things, and it kind of is in line with what you've been telling me, what you've been talking about. And I'm thinking, okay, well, what about this? Or what about that? Based on the information that you've given me prior to you sitting in that chair. And then I also, it's almost like being an artist too. Sometimes I could see something and I'm thinking, okay, I had a lady come in, and I'll never forget this. When she came in, I was shocked that she had been basically going around with no hair. And she finally made the decision to get a wig because she was at an event, and a little girl, which children are so honest, said something out loud to her mom about her, like, why did she look like a man or whatever? She had no hair, and she said, okay, that's it, I have to go get something. So it was like, it was unbelievable, the feeling in there. When she came in, I go, you know what? I said, I have something for you. I have something especially for you. It was almost like it was waiting for you. And then I said, I don't want you to look in the mirror. And I put it on her, and the color of the hair and everything just fit her. And then I had turned her around to the mirror. I go, okay, now you can look. And she stared for a minute, and then she broke down and started crying. She goes, oh my God. She goes, I have not had hair in 17 years. and it looked amazing on her. And then I just said for that second in that moment, this is why I do what I do.
So what do we have here? Girl.
Okay. Well, I took the liberties of bringing 2 wigs here. This right here is a very popular style this summer that sold really well with me. It has rooted, it's a rooted color, which is trending. What I like about these wigs are whatever colors that are salon inspired, they start making wigs like that. Like, for example, we all know that the dark roots and the white color hair is trending in. Well, I can get a ton of wigs in that color now. So whatever salon-inspired cuts and colors are out, they will duplicate it and redo it in wigs. So this wig is rooted. It has an invisible hairline. And again, this was a hot seller for me this summer. This wig right here is a heat-resistant fiber that you could put hot rollers in and roll it up. It has an invisible hairline here, which is, you know, really popular with my clients. It looks very natural. So once you put it on your head, it pretty much mimics what I have on. It basically melts into the flesh of your skin, giving it an invisible hairline appearance. And it's multi-directional, so you can pretty much part it everywhere, and it looks very natural.
Okay. And when the wind blows?
This is what you see, what I have on right here. This is what you see. See that?
I asked that question, and she said that when she wears her own wigs, they never come off.
No, they don't.
They never come off.
They don't. I mean, I wouldn't suggest wearing them in a hurricane, but I mean, but no, they don't.
What's the name of the cut that's here?
Oh, that is Samantha.
Ooh.
Yeah, Samantha. That's Samantha. She's very lightweight, as you could see. She's been done all by hand.
Yeah, and it is in where she can turn that in any
style. So it can go back, it can go forward. I mean, it has multi-directional parting. The hair is extremely lightweight, as you can see, and it looks like scalp. See how it looks like scalping through there?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Has anyone ever complained about one of your wigs?
No, not. They're definitely not hot or heavy. What kind of complaint would they complain about?
Well, if they came back and said, for any reason that they didn't like it.
I mean, if anything, I mean, it's not the wig itself. It could be, I don't know. It doesn't happen often, but no, I've been pretty lucky. I mean, most people, when they come up, the majority of people are very satisfied with the service and the product.
I absolutely loved. I mean, this is one of her wigs. This is
And
one
this
of
is a
Laura's.
human hair
This is a
wig.
human hair wig, and I absolutely love how it feels. It feels very natural.
And it's all been done by hand, the cap.
Right.
So it's very lightweight.
And that's human hair.
Yes.
So is that heat resistant? Like what
Human
you were
hair,
saying?
you could treat it just like human hair.
Okay.
You could blow dry it, curl it. When Michelle first received her hair, the hairdresser, I mean, there's some things I could do, but there's some things with human hair I allow them to do. And Michelle came back and it was kind of wavy and kind of wet, and she kind of scrunched it. It looked exactly like Michelle's hair. Exactly. And that was what was so mind-blowing. I'm like, oh my God, that looks exactly like your hair.
Laura, my husband, my
I was about to
parents,
ask,
my friends were like, "You're wearing a wig? What?" I can't even tell.
What was your husband's reaction?
He thought it looked great. He thought it looked great. He touched it and he just said, "Yeah, it's." He's been really wonderful as far as embracing both looks, like just what I look like at home without the wig on, but also when I go out.